Senator Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Stewart, welcome. My understanding is that there was a settlement that was the result of efforts by the Civil Rights Division in the Attorney General's office to address a septic problem in your county. And that was a result of there being incredibly poor soil and years of, as you were describing, folks having straight pipe sewage, and they were then prosecuted and fined, and they were starting to be held in criminal contempt, even though there was no capacity for them to address the issue. And that the new Assistant Attorney General who just testified got out of that settlement, basically renounced it. And the reason was that it was the product of illegal DEI. Would you care to comment on what that situation was and how the Justice Department was helpful to you, the Civil Rights Division? And also, Mr. Chairman, I just want to acknowledge there are many folks who used to be with the Civil Rights Division who are here today. I want to express to you my incredible gratitude for the commitment you made, and I think it's outrageous that the ranks, including you, have been decimated in the department. Mr. Stewart.
Yeah. Well, I just want to add that it's not radical for all American citizens to have access to working sewage, clean air, clean land. And the EPA was founded by President Richard Nixon. So this is a nonpartisan effort. And so the federal investment granted by the EPA was transformative to Lowndes County, and not just Lowndes County, but many counties throughout the Black Belt as well as Appalachia, for them to address the failing septic systems. Just want to highlight the Black Belt unincorporated wastewater program. They really help citizens exude self-determination. There were lots of health challenges with the raw sewage, and that affected the work. It had implications on the workforce as well. And so we were finally able, the federal government was finally able to provide a remedy for these rural Americans who were long forgot about. Also, the citizens have some skin in the game because they pay $20 to maintain the septic systems once they receive those upgrades. And so there have been nearly 100 homes, and we've made record progress.
So that Civil Rights Department agreement was dismissed when the new Assistant Attorney General became into authority, correct?
Precisely.
And there was $24 million that had been part of the infrastructure bill that was taken away. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That was a presidential action. Is that your view of, was this something that was done for improper DEI, that is to provide a remedy to the folks that you represent?
Yes, and I just want to reiterate that all citizens have this right, and I think that it's unfair that the constituents are continued to be left behind when they were making this progress under several presidential administrations. In 2018, we had unprecedented investment under the Farm Act in 2018. Under President Trump, we saw investment in failing wastewater systems across rural America. And so we need to continue those strides to ensure that no Americans are left behind.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Hamilton, we had some significant difficulty getting documents from the Department of Justice about the change in policies with respect to the Civil Rights Division. We now have those, but not through the cooperation of the department. You have, as the head of America First Legal, I think you've sued the federal government for failing to provide documents you requested, correct?
Many times.
And in fact, is it fair to say that you agree with us that the federal government should be transparent and turn over information that's relevant to the public?
I mean, depending on the context. Certainly, there's a difference between what Congress passed in FOIA in terms of the public's access to the government's information, and then interbranch accommodations between Article 1 and Article 2, depending on the information that's at issue.
Well, and what was at issue here was the change in policies that affected the various divisions within the Civil Rights Division and how there was an explicit change of policy. And by the way, one of the points that Ms. Dillon made is that what the Civil Rights Division should be zealous and faithful in pursuit of the priorities of the president. What I heard in your testimony is that the law is what it is that should be pursued zealously, not the preference of any individual president. Is that correct?
The president is the head of Article 2, and under Article 2, Section 1, all executive power is vested in the president. Everyone has to set priorities. Everyone has to limited time in the day in terms of what things to try to get at.
No, I
the
get
Department
that.
of Justice Civil Rights Division, I mean, look, believe me, I am very sympathetic to rural communities and getting messed and overlooked. That speaks deeply to my heart. The Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice doesn't need to be involved with septic tanks. That is not a civil rights issue. There is no use of the civil rights laws. The notion that septic tanks and sewer lines are somehow racist is crazy.
Well,
I mean, that's absolutely ludicrous. But there are solutions that Congress can employ.
Let me just suggest that if the denial of access to remedies is based on race, that is a civil rights issue. I'm finished with my time. I yield
Thank
back.
you. Thank you. Senator Lee.
Mr. Hamilton,